Thank God it's Friday, September 27, 2024. And of course, the program is Inside Nigerian Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Ugbebo, your host on the program. Today, we are just going to be looking at front headline stories of some select national newspapers, including Nigeria's foremost Friday newspaper, Leadership Friday. Let's start with Leadership Friday, as we normally do on the program. Leadership's leading story says ahead of October 1, Tinubu's ministers struggle to defend reforms. Ahead of October 1, Tinubu's ministers struggle to defend reforms. Say they will make Nigeria economic superpower. Blame past missteps for hardship. President orders low-key independence celebration. Let's go to page 4 of the paper to read some snippets of that leading story. He says ahead of the forthcoming 64th Independence Day anniversary celebration on October 1, ministers and top federal government officials have highlighted the progress made under President Tinubu's administration amidst the cries of hunger and hardship by a large portion of the Nigerian populace. Minister of Information and National Orientation Mohammed Idris stated that President Tinubu is implementing a series of transformative policies and reforms designed to address past missteps and position Nigeria to emerge as a formidable economic superpower soon. Idris made his statement in Abuja yesterday at a press conference unveiling the activities planned for Nigeria's 64th independence anniversary. He says, under the visionary leadership of President Tinubu, we have initiated transformative policies and reforms aimed at correcting past missteps and repositioning Nigeria as an economic superpower in the near future. These are some of the first 4 paragraphs of that leading story on Leadership Friday today. Ahead of October 1, Tinubu's ministers struggle to defend reforms. Beside that main headline story, there are other stories also gracing the cover. Let's take a look at them. In that Isaiah, Niger government tax youths on moral values. The story runs on page 7 of Leadership. The chairman of Leadership Media Group, Zainab Isaiah, tax and Niger government tax youths on moral values. The story runs on page 7 of Leadership Friday. Hunger 79, Nigeria secures $600,000 aid for flood relief orders. Beside the masthead, Naira slides to 1,685 Naira per dollar, 1,705 Naira in dollar per dollar in Lagos and Abuja. 5 to die by hanging for Ofa bank robbery. Court rejects APC's prayer to stop Kano local government election. 5 to die by hanging for Ofa bank robbery. The story runs on page 10 of Leadership Friday, and incidentally it's also gracing some of the cover on other newspapers that we have on our menu today. It will be recalled that of a bank robbery was carried out in 2018, where scores of Nigerians were left dead by the incident, and about 10 also policemen were also shot dead. And yesterday, justice was done. 5 were sentenced to death. Actually, there were 6, but 1 died during custody in police. From that, we move to page 3 of the paper, where we have our stand. Our stand today is for the need for judicious use of loans by our states and federal government. Need for judicious use of loans. The stand today on Leadership. From the stand, we move to the back page, where we have conversation with Azu. Azu Ishekwene is the editor-in-chief of Leadership Media Group, and today is writing on home run for Oshomole. Home run for Oshomole. Of course, you can see Oshomole in the sports jersey. APC 12, return of the Godfather. What a nice read. And in quote, it says, Okpebolo, who Oshomole carried on his back throughout the campaign, is now governor-elect. Is a column you want to read as you head up to our website www.leadership.ng for the continuation also of the headline stories and the inside stories. That concludes the review of Leadership Friday this Friday. Let's move over to other papers we have on our menu. We move swiftly to Daily Sun. Daily Sun's main headline story says Jonathan Sanusi renewed fight over controversial $49.5 billion. Jonathan Sanusi renewed fight over controversial $49.5 billion. Such amount of money can't miss and the economy will remain afloat as president. Beneath that hunger, Nigeria secures $600,000 for flood relief, health, agri sectors reforms. Federal government says Nigeria will witness economic boom soon. Unveils independence celebration plans, opts for low-key outing. Hardship. Federal government disposes 24.7 billion naira to over 991,261 households. Heads roll in prisons over Bobrisky. This is a developing story. Bobrisky has alleged that he or she bribed some prison officials and EFCC over his arrest. And sooner, following also the development, the Minister of Interior set up a committee to look into that. And today we read that heads have started rolling over that bribe scandal allegation. We move just beneath the masthead of Daily Sun. Stop arresting people protesting election fraud. Obagbena tells military. Stop arresting people protesting election fraud. Obagbena tells military. And just beside the masthead, we see reps urge NNPCL to allow independent marketers lead fuel from Dangote refinery. Oil and gas sector owes federal government over $6 billion, 66 billion naira, according to NEITI. And that concludes the review of front headline stories on Daily Sun. For more, log on to the website www.thesun.ng. From Daily Sun, we move over to Vanguard. Vanguard, similar story with that of Daily Sun. That is main headline story. Alleged missing $49.8 billion. Why Sanusi had to go as CBN governor, Jonathan says. Alleged missing $49.8 billion. Why Sanusi had to go as CBN governor, according to the former president of the Federation of Nigeria, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Goodluck Jonathan. Says allegation against his government cooked up. Knows audit report commission to probe allegation cleared his government. He insists he didn't cut away any amount of money from government coffers. You constructively dismiss me as CBN governor, Sanusi replies Jonathan. Adds, I don't have any grudge against you. Of course, this took place yesterday during a book launch by the former Minister of Finance, where Goodluck Jonathan, former president, was in attendance, and also with Emir Sanusi. Beneath that flood, how 5 northern states lost 141 lives in 2 months. How 5 northern states lost 141 lives in 2 months after flood. That is a story that continues on page 8 of Vanguard. How 5 northern states lost 141 lives in 2 months. Fresh cholera outbreak kicks 11 in Ebonyi. Christian elders to federal government reverse fuel price hike to avert looming crisis. In sports, Eguavoen continues as Super Eagles head coach against Libya, NFF. Eguavoen continues as Super Eagles head coach against Libya, NFF. That is Nigerian Football Federation. Above the masthead of Vanguard, why some Heritage Bank depositors are yet to be refunded, NDIC boss. Of course, the reason you have to find answers to when you log on to the website of Vanguard. And still on Vanguard, Edo poll, I'll be servant of all, ready to work with opposition, Okpebolo, receives certificate of return. This day publisher told military, stop arresting protesters, go after kidnappers. Gagging media will stagnate democracy, Governor Oyebanji. Nigeria 64 SGF ministers defend Tinubu's policies amid cabinet reshuffle hints. That concludes the review of front headline stories today on Vanguard. For more, log on to www.vanguardngr.com. From Vanguard, we move to The Guardian. The Guardian's main headline story says Tinubu's foreign missions, how Nigeria's internal crisis narrow foreign policy, international repute. Tinubu's foreign missions, how Nigeria's internal crisis narrow foreign policy, international repute. And of course, we have the caption, as usual, beneath that leading story. Tinubu's many troubles. We have President Tinubu lying down and strapped. We have the issue of insecurity, power, economy, crime, fuel crisis, inflation, poverty, corruption, with Nigerians watching and passing on. Experts warn of looming crisis as 4 trillion naira yearly wage bill sparks death fears. October 1, federal government orders low-key anniversary, cites national hardship. Reps push for independent candidacy ahead of 2027 poll. Jonathan debunks disappearance of $49.8 billion during his tenure. Court sentences over bank robbery convicts to death by hanging. Ohaneze plays Southeast governors over Kanu's continued detention. Stolen crude, IOC's indebtedness to federal government hit $7 billion. Reps decry NNPC, Dangote price secrecy, want marketers to lift fuel from refinery. And that also concludes for the review of front headline stories on The Guardian. For more, log on to www.guardian.ng. From The Guardian, we move over to the last paper we have on our menu this Friday, and that is The Punch. The Punch says 70,000 naira minimum wage. Federal government begins payment salaries to 4 trillion naira. 70,000 naira minimum wage. Federal government begins payments. Salaries rise to 4 trillion naira. 1,236,824 federal workers to earn 334.9 billion naira monthly. NLC TUC Lord federal government. Beneath that, we have the pictures of activities in or events in Kenya where 21 children were killed in fire school, in a Kenyan school, through fire. I'll take that once again. 21 children killed in Kenyan school, fire buried. 21 children killed in Kenyan school, fire buried. That's the pictures you see on the cover of The Punch, just beneath the leading story today. We have pictures of mothers in grief and the coffin of those children. May their souls rest in peace. Beneath that second leading story, we have Bobrisky, Revs comments pro prison controller suspended. Kwara hates death sentence for 5 offer bank robbers. Afenifere demands restructuring as Senate OK Southwest Development Commission. The Punch masthead beside it we have Oshomole congratulates Okpebolo once Obaseki probed. And above the masthead, why my admin suspended Sanusi Jonathan. Oil companies owe government over $6 billion in Haiti. Federal government probing bandit sponsors defense headquarters, obviously in reaction to the crisis that has been waging between the Zamfara state governor and his erstwhile predecessor, Matawale, who incidentally is the Minister of State for Defense. With that, we conclude today's Inside Nigeria on Leadership Television. My name is Winifred Webo. Don't forget to join us same time, same station for another fresh edition of the program Inside Nigeria next week, Monday. My name is Winifred Webo, and here's wishing you a beautiful weekend ahead.
Thank you for watching. For sponsorship and advert placements, please contact 080-3688-6158. Last Word Leadership Podcast Studio. You have